Hello everyone and welcome back to Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Last time out, I believe, did the final investigation of the Phoenix Wright trilogy. And we discovered that Pearl has two sisters. One ended up being my ex. The other one's Iris. And they're twin sisters. Which, it's been known to happen. We found we found the backstory of how they're all linked and, how Morgan's trying to kill Maya, so Pearl succeeds. And somehow we've got to all unravel this while hopefully Maya's not dead. Shrug shoulders, let's go in and let's do this. Oh, great. A nice high-pitched voice to start the day. I do apologize if I sound tired. I was up all night watching WrestleMania. I will not spoil anything. I was just... don't worry about it. If I talk about it, it will be in general platitudes, like, I enjoyed the show. I thought the main event was close to perfect. So forth and so much. But anyway.
Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya.
I'm sorry, we just don't know yet. Still trying to fiddle about my mic. Not happy with the positioning of it. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. Technically, well, yeah, I assume that's fine. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, that is kind of strange. Okay, and it's going to be Edgeworth or it's Pro or Goddo. So I was one for three in the last time, so I'm going to guess that it's Edgeworth. Hopefully. If you're looking for Iris, she's probably in the prosecutor's lobby. Get it. Edgeworth. What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecution is squeezing her for a confession, or so I've heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else could it be but Goddo? Goddo? Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the time of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly as we receive some good news soon. Yeah, thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Goddo intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's amazing what a good night's sleep does. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you've passed your cold onto someone else. Literally. Or they know the game's ending and we need to get Phoenix in a triumphant final position. And with that, I'll leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. I always think Edgeworth looks weird when he looks like that. Look, I don't know, it's just a sly little smile. I don't know if it works for me. I still don't have all the answers. I still don't have the answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. Circumstances around the murder of Ms. Elise Denim. No, I mean Ms. Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I think you can guess what that woman's really after. I don't think it's hard. She loves Perlo above all else, and she's willing to kill Maya for it. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I will solve them all, and bring this whole tragedy to an end. We're going to see today if we're going to see how far we get through. I think this is going to be a long trial. I don't know how many breaks they have. If we finish today, we finish today. If we finish today, we finish today. If I finish around like, say I do like 2 hours like 15, and we get to like 2 different trials, and there's another one coming up, I might break it apart into 2. We'll have to see. Oh, he's back. Hello, Judge. I was happily going to do the standard judge voice for the new guy. I mean, we've just got to know him. But anyway, court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Well, he's sweating bullets already. I guess that confidence is already gone. Your Honor? What are you... Who? Me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Well, he discovered a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. See, I lose the judge for a couple of weeks, and then I instantly lose the voice. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. My poor brother. He looks a bit pale, not to mention that he couldn't be here. Or not to mention sad that he couldn't be here.
It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment.
Well said, Mr. Gotto. I understood exactly what you said, at least up until the end anyway. Now then, Mr. Gotto, please proceed with your opening statement.
Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. There is only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world.
I've always said like tiles or something instead of tides.
The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug.
So then you mean... forget it. What do you mean?
During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today she has had a change of heart, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make.
A confession? The defendant?
Iris? Why didn't she discuss this with me first?
Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Confession. I can speak properly.
Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you wish to confess to?
Yes, but first I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's all right. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? You saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Denim?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court. Witness, are you saying that you were an accomplice to murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat.
Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
That Goddo. So this is the confession they were conferring about. Pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Well, did he? I don't know, because did he ask about that? If he asked about... did he ask, is this the truth? Is this testimony the truth? And I don't remember getting a magical number 9 over that, you know, the magical truth lie detector that we have in our pocket. But I don't know if he asked about that testimony. I think he just asked, did you kill her? And he said, no.
Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions?
Iris was covering with someone? I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle. Or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Karain tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes. That's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Karain channeling technique. Mystic Maya Fey.
Huh?
Wake up and smell the coffee, Trite.
She's naming Maya?
Order in the court. So, not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do.
The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the crime?
Yes, Your Honor.
thought I was prepared for the unexpected, but I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. Well, here goes nothing.
I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. When Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
Well then.
So it was in self-defense?
Yeah, Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first.
Hmm.
Yeah. First yawn of the day. Told you we're gonna get a few of those. We've been watching wrestling till late last night. Ugh. It's gonna be one of those days, especially as I keep talking more and more.
That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday. But Iris never went to the inner temple that night. And the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination.
Well, alrighty then.
As we know, press everything to start off. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple.
Did she now? Too bad for you. What she said yesterday doesn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go?
It was in the inner temple's training hall.
A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as hearsay.
What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth at the time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she?
Come again?
I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
There, we all understand this is difficult for you. Now then, let's continue on with his testimony. What did you witness in the temple garden?
Well, Your Honor,
Right then. So you're saying that the victim attacked Maya? I mean, Miss Fey.
yeah, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard on the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear.
This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. Thing is, you've got that magical, bullshit device. Use it.
What happened after that? Or what happened after that?
While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
Well, let's see. She moved in to deliver a fatal strike?
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into a robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Nim tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Fey.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm smelling some bullshit.
You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce.
That is... I wonder how many Americans will struggle with that, because Worcestershire is very weird looking word. I mean, some of the counties that we have over here, I'd love to hear Americans try and say, because they look so. The thing I'd be looking for is, well, most commonly is the Shire sort of thing, where we say Worcestershire rather than obviously Shire. But anyway, enough with our, enough with the Brits and the what do you call the Americans? I don't want to call them Yanks because that insults, the Yanks at the top bit. Americans and our idiosyncrasies.
Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy?
Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? I do. Because as we found out last time, she doesn't have a dagger. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony.
You do? But this witness is your own client.
Yes, well, nevertheless.
That's fine. Witness, let's add that last statement to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that.
Listen, Gramps. I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me.
No.
Okay now. Let's continue.
I got very high stakes all of a sudden and then went down.
She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe.
All these mystics carrying weapons of mass destruction. She threw her staff away?
Mystic Elise was trying to kill Mystic Maya. I think that's why she wanted a more lethal weapon.
Just pulls out, out. Just like Thingy, just pulls out the robe and reveals machine guns.
It's true. It's not easy to inflict a deadly blow with a staff.
I thought he was going to be like, yes, I also carry weapons in my robes. It's just like the merchant from RE4, just...
Yes, just what are you buying? What are you selling? I have everything here. That's how I know that I will step out of this courtroom.
I wonder if judges... I don't know about... Obviously over here, no. But I wonder if in America... They do, they do carry a piece on them whilst they're in the courtroom. I would suspect not. Especially when so close to a, potentially convicted felon. And most of the time a repeat offender. Sister Iris, let me make sure I've got this straight. The victim herself chose to throw away her staff.
Yes, that's what I saw.
Is there anything odd about that, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, it's not all right.
Mystic Elise attacked Mystic Maya with a dagger. I'm sure of it.
And then...
Mystic Maya, she turned things around and then... She used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike.
Damn. Just damn.
A witness, are you absolutely certain?
But believe me, she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something...
Maya Fey's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead.
I see.
This is bad.
I still can't put the pieces together. Unless I find a contradiction in her testimony, Maya's going to be blamed for this.
I only have this to say. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
Oh, I can, and I will. So you're saying Maya Fey was the one who stabbed Miss Elise de Nim? Sister Iris, is that really what you saw?
Yes.
Wright. Your mug is filled with black and bitter suspicions. The only way to get rid of them is to drink them down quick. Like this.
Look at that Adam's apple. Beautiful. I know that's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't get it.
There's only one thing you need to get right. It's called evidence. And seems you don't have jack of it. Now hurry up before my next cup gets cold.
What does that mean? Got her waiting for me to point out the contradiction?
Does he know?
I'd like to avoid the whole spirit channeling thing if I can. Not only would it be inadmissible as evidence, but I think it might actually hurt our standings with the judge. First, I need to pick her testimony apart and expose the unnatural sounding parts. I don't know why Iris would tell a story like this. There are two things that I noticed that just don't add up. Well, I noticed one big one, and I'm gonna find that out. So, first of all, strike her with a staff. Moving for a failed strike through the dagger. Okay, and we know that her staff is actually a sword. Playing my ace in the hole really early on in this trial. Sister Iris. Why? Why? There's something strange about your version of events.
Huh?
Mr. Nim throwing away her staff makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Excuse me, if you are a mystic, I've seen many mystics, or wizards, or warlocks, or witches for that matter, use a staff with great success to perform feats of great magic. Why wasn't Mystic Elisa able to do that? You know, if she was Misty Fey after all, and then you reveal it. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but, this victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's also a sword.
Ah.
If Miss Elise de Nim really wanted to kill Miss Fey, or Miss Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Love the alliteration, Phoenix. Get in there, as we all know. The more eloquent you are with your words, the more powerful they are. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say?
Well,
That was an impressive bit of investigating, Trite. I never would have thought that a sword hidden in the staff. There was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? It don't matter. A long sword is unwieldy, and is quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade.
Well,
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about it, there's no problem with her testimony.
but there is something strange about this whole testimony.
Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution does have a point.
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back up its argument. I have evidence to back up my argument? I mean, of course I do.
Mr. Wright?
I have another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony cannot be trusted. Because Miss Elisa Nim would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. I mean, there's the hanging scroll, but I think I need proof that she actually is who she says she is. I believe this is probably the proof I need, correct?
And breathe. Well, Mr. Godot?
If you ask me, the only thing that seems strange is the angle of Mr. Trite's index finger.
Eh?
Trite, sticking your finger in an electrical outlet might be safer for you. Otherwise, it might get bitten off the next time you poke it in the wrong place.
What? I was right. I still don't think that Mr. Nim would ever attack Maya. You think about their relationship, it's obvious.
Why don't you think it over one more time?
Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back up its argument.
Mr. Wright?
I mean, I can't believe it's this. Because we don't know what this is. I assumed it was this because this was worn by Elisa Nim and it shows the Master's talisman, revealing that she's Misty Fey, revealing that she's Maya's mother. I thought that made quite a lot of sense. It's either this, or it's just her picture of Misty Fey. I guess this? Do we reveal? Okay, and second time around. I still think my evidence would have made sense, because it made sense to me, doesn't it? Doesn't it to you? I reveal this evidence. This is the talisman of the Master, which proves that she is Misty Fey, which proves that she is Maya's mother. Why would you attack your own daughter? I don't think I should have been knocked points for that. For me, for, you know, getting around the question in the similar way. Big-brained. Really? They discontinued it on the iPad? I thought it was still available on, like, everything, like Android, you know, Apple. I thought it was open on everything now. So I'm pretty sure you can go... I know, for me at least, I use Android rather than Apple products. I'm not a big lover of Apple phones. I think I still have... On, like, if I go on, like, say, the Google Play Store, it's completely fine. I should say hi, Super 7X, by the way. How you doing?
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elisa Nim. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Fey?
No. Not Mystic Misty Fey.
Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to...
Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey.
Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Denim actually the great mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it. Looks like Iris had no idea.
I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years. Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing.
Order in the court. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter. Despite the facts of this being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe.
Ah, okay, and so, like, was this, like, the original Ace Attorney trilogy was delisted and replaced with Phoenix Wright? Oh, okay. Well, that makes... So, what I don't get, what's the difference between the two, then? I'm hoping that if they delisted that one and they released another one on top of it, that you got given that one for free. That would make sense. Because that's really a crappy thing to do. If they just delist the old one and then release the new one. That is appalling. I was expecting, like, that's poor from Capcom if that's true. I would assume that if they delisted the old trilogy and released a new one, you probably should give people the old, because I'm assuming it's on the phone or on an iOS release, that it won't be much money. That's what I mean. It's only superficial changes. So you'd think they would just be like, yeah, for every person who got this, we're re-releasing it, but for every person who got this, we'll just give you the game for free. Or at least a discount to get the game, I guess, and make it really cheap. I don't know. I hate practices like that, you know. This is why I'm always a big talker and a big promoter of, and a big advocate for buying physical media. Buy physical media. DVDs, so films, video games, music. If you can get a physical copy of it, do it, because, you know, companies, for lack of a better term, or for lack of, you know, they don't care that much about you. And they will do things like this, where they'll take away software that you can't get anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still do stuff like that and buy some digital media. Because you know, streaming and buying games on Steam is very or GOG or any other Epic Game Store, whatever. They're very, what's the word I'm looking for? Simple, nice to do, easy to do. But and obviously you can get physical copies of only certain games that are on a computer. For example, I don't know. Say a game's only on a computer and only on Steam, it's not like I can get a physical copy of it unless I take the data, burn it onto a disc myself, and then do it, and then that creates a whole other palaver. But yeah, I'm a big lover, and like I said, big lover of physical media. I'm looking right at all my collection here that I have to the left of me. Like I have it for all my Switch games, although I am playing this on Switch. So this is the only thing. I think this and the remake of Diamond and Pearl are the two digital releases I have for this, because I was young and I was naive and I made a mistake. Now I'm good, and now I try my best to get all games in physical media as much as I can, because eventually people will just remove, you know, the developers or whoever owns the IP will just remove it at a whim sometimes. And you've seen it on Steam with stuff like Assassin's Creed, or they've removed certain games off them, or I believe they removed original Grand Theft Auto off Steam as well. so you can't play that anymore. And they do it at a moment's notice. That's the difference. You buy something on Steam, it's a, it's technically a license to own the game, or license to play the game, not the actual game itself. You do not own that property. It's a pain in the ass. And something needs to be done about it personally, because I believe the consumer keeps getting screwed over.
Listen, that's nothing in this world. There's nothing in this world that is impossible.
Flight. Human flight. In this exact moment. Goddo, I promote you to fly. If you do not, I'm calling complete and utter BS on that statement.
Except for one little thing.
If he says flight now, I'm going to be scared.
Yes? What is this one little impossible thing?
Yeah, I agree. I used to love getting the boxes. I don't remember the boxes you used to get for like physical releases. Well, yeah, Hollow Knight's a noble exception. I'll agree on that. Also, you've got like stuff like, is it limited run games and other people? I know limited run have had some issues, with stuff recently, but I'm sure I expect there to be other people that will come out the woodwork who do similar things to limited run in the future, who will, re-release old games with like with stuff like physical copies. And I remember the boxes you used to get for the old computer games. Like one of my friends, I wasn't a big lover of Thief because I was just young and didn't appreciate it at the time. I should probably give it another crack now that I'm older. But he used to have the he used to have those trapezoid boxes, I think they were for Thief, and I think he had two of them, and they were just like these massive, like, if you want to look it up, they're just like these trapezium boxes with obviously the game inside and other stuff. But yeah, just I don't know. I like the containers we have now, like the plastic containers, but I do miss the times of when we used to have boxes and used to undo the box and pull out the little packaging, the cartridge, and the game manual. I mean, that was more what I remember. Like I got the back of that because like when I was young, I was Game Boy Advance. So I remember little boxes we used to get for the Game Boy Advance, and then obviously when the DS moved, we moved to plastic rather than paper. And maybe we should go back to cardboard. I don't know. I don't know, just, especially when they're talking about the, protecting the environment using all that plastic doesn't seem to be good. A good thing for the planet. Especially if you look into what microplastics are doing.
You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under roasted? But you have no idea, Gramps.
Could you get to the point?
I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my eighth cup of coffee.
You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
Yeah, his kidneys are hard-working, to say the least. Yeah, it's just when it comes to minimizing plastic, it's just the fact that I don't like any. I try to keep up with science. I'm a nerd. I like looking up weird and wacky things when when they make discoveries about like science and stuff. I take a passing glance and, oh, that's interesting, and then it's a conversation piece. You can tell your friends. And one of them is like the research, because they're researching what damage microplastics are doing. And the moment it's still it's a study, so take it with a pinch of salt. But they're seeing like how microplastics can induce or give a greater cause to some form of cancers. which is it's very worrying, to say the least, because of how much we use plastic in the modern world. And I do believe we should go back to using, be apprehensive. We should, it's a bit like we've jumped before, or we've ran before we can walk. We don't know all the use of what these things can do, and we don't know the causes. And when you do that, you end up causing great problems for people. Look up stuff. If you don't believe me, look up stuff like thalidomide and what that led to. Very terrible things can happen if we do not know everything, or if we do not, properly test stuff or anything, and realize there might be an underlying cause for certain things. But anyway, enough serious and dour talk.
You're going to ruin your health, my friend.
Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the crime scene. So I stopped there. And he discovered this little beauty.
Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing?
Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else?
Now that you mention it, if you look closely, it appears to be blood on it.
So, how can Goddo see that? Because he's got that red visor on. And we found out that he can't see red last time. But where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene.
Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene?
Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the backside. Oh, sorry. I thought this was Phoenix. Never mind.
This dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree when the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women. This little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree.
Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct?
Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning, just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of coffee.
Didn't you say it was your 8th a few minutes ago? I mean, the guy's definitely, hyped up. I'm going to allow him that little lie.
I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice.
In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately.
This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right.
Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible.
Cute girls never lie. Ever.
Well, I guess we found that Goddo's a simp. Do not believe the beautiful face. I had such high hopes for Goddo. I thought it was a Chad. He's underwhelmed me.
In any case, witness, please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women. I want to hear more details about this catfight.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Was there hair pulling?
Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed.
That was a very heartbreaking story. It's a shame there was no, I don't know, pool of mud or unrevealing of garments.
Oh well. I've completely just lost her voice.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had to be 17 years since Mystic Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay, and as we know, press everything. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all of this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden's stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck?
Okay, so they were arguing. Jesus. Always do a stretch after a yawn. Makes me feel a little bit better. Makes me feel on top of the world. What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, and Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second.
Using those supreme dodging strats Maya has.
The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet.
What did the victim do with the weapon when the weapon was stolen from her?
Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern.
You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yeah,
Well, that's my thumbnail picture if we have to split it up into two. I'm sure we'll get a final picture otherwise.
but Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
Still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point, it's just silly. I mean, she has technically killed someone before. Well, she didn't, but, you know, she was in the room while someone killed someone.
As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified.
Your animal analogies have grown tiresome.
Well, you were the one who started it.
Anyway, I'm finishing it. So, after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next?
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yeah, I'm almost certain.
Almost?
The garden was dark, I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely.
We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night, and that the woman was killed by Elise Nim. Isn't that fairly obvious? Who attacked who?
I don't have anything to counter that yet.
Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment. Then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. And Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed, huh?
Yes.
Okay, and then she dropped to the ground. Where did that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle.
That's the most likely explanation, yes.
After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
No, now that I think of it. She seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped.
Hmm.
Then suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
Seems like a reasonable story at first. But there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. Well, now we gotta find it. Suddenly Mystic Elise on the defensive, we're back towards the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. And... I have to have a look at that autopsy report. I want to look at that. Stabbed from the back. Yeah, lost blood. Loss of blood from stab in the back. Well, I found it. She dodged Mystic Elise and stole the weapon. So Mr. Myers on the offense. When she stabbed Mystic Elise. If I present this, I expect to get a contradiction. Please. Survey says that you telling lies. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about... What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right?
Yes, I think so.
But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back.
Ah,
This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris? It appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony.
ah.
What? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
It's simple. People are like books. They've all got a front and a back. You catch my drift?
Is that all you have to say?
I can also say that darkness loves to play with the human mind.
Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and the illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter. And now, she falsely claims that the victim that the victim was stabbed in the stomach.
There certainly are some inconsistencies.
Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're being too naive about the whole thing.
What do you mean?
There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. To pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. You really concentrating on what this witness actually said?
Prosecutor, gotta explain yourself.
The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly.
Well, got a point.
A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light.
Well, technically, if you had no eyes and you had light, you still couldn't see. So technically, you'd need light. And a pair of eyes. Or a pair of working eyes. Or you don't really need light. You technically have, one of those goggles that, that light up. You can so you can see stuff in the dark. Those sorts of things. I mean, technically, really, all you need is a pair of working eyes rather than anything else, rather than light itself.
Light?
By the way, did you know? Asakura has a rule on nights when an acolyte is in the inner temple training. Stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit.
I did wonder about that stone lantern. What that stone lantern was there for.
Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly?
Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern.
Impossible?
It hadn't been used in a long time and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all.
Most enlightening.
Yeah, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it would be difficult to see. It also explains how they, or why they, didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite?
No!
Hold on.
Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Maybe it will rekindle the flame of truth in your mind.
Well, got a new piece of evidence at least. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look on his face?
What's wrong, Your Honor? Was the flame too hot?
I assume he's looking at the blood on the lantern.
This lantern, it's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood.
Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet. I'll play it, Gotta.
Written in blood?
It says Maya upside down.
What the?
Oh yeah, that's right. After being cornered and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
It certainly looks that way.
Hang on just a minute. What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what are we talking about?
We're all talking about the message written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
Could it be... Can't see the bloody writing at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
So that's what he meant by that. Oh, so that's what he meant by that.
In any case, this is an obviously important clue. We now know the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Well, Mr. Gatto, anything further? Mr. Gatto?
Okay then. Let's move on.
Otto is literally shaking, and somehow I don't think it's from the caffeine overdose. Could be. Could just be, you know, getting, well, maybe there's not enough coffee. Maybe he's going through withdrawal.
I believe it has been established that Mr. Nim was killed by Maya Fey.
That's just wrong.
Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
Okay then, round 3.
After Miss Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. And I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple. And I used the Shigashido to alter the way the wound looked.
Well, here we go.
So, you moved the body?
Yeah, I was raised at Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fey clan. And even so, I never imagined that Melista Nim was actually Misty Fey. I have committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate.
I believe you're looking for Twist of Fate, Your Honor.
I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but
You were spotted by the head nun, correct?
yeah, that's when I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, here we go. So, you waited until everything was over before making a move?
No, it's not like that.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a bit timid.
Yes, I suppose that is true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit here quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
A great quality in a judge. Isn't that your job to mediate the argument?
It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on what she had done.
Okay, nothing so far that's untoward. So then you knew? You knew that the significance of the name Maya Fey.
Yeah, of course I did.
That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position.
Anyway, she was a very special person indeed.
Okay, again, nothing of note. So you remove the body. Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to move the body from the crime scene.
You move the body all by yourself?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, she has got those Jedi, you know, those Jedi Knight-like arm things that cover the palm of or the top of the hand. You know, perhaps she uses the Force. Who knows? Yeah, look at him. Oh, you know, the same things that Obi-Wan was. Well, young Obi-Wan. We're talking like Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Those like little like things that cover their arm to, I guess, shield. I guess it's a little bit of armor. She could have used just, you know, maybe that explains why Larry could see her flying. Iris just used the Force, and she flew over.
It would have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh? Okay, that seems to be a point of contention.
I dragged it behind me all the way to cross Dusky Bridge.
It's pretty amazing you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge.
Looks way worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
Not anymore, it's not.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold.
But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple. Does make a good point.
I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Makes perfect sense to me,
Really?
for the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge?
Okay, and then she used the snowmobile. The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yeah, I had the key. I used a snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? About the tracks. You really did move her body by snowmobile, then There would have been tracks left in the snow, right?
Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. And are these the tracks from that ride?
Yeah, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling,
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there were such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
We'll leave it in for now. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped? That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against other evidence. Your Honor, I like that statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But does it have something to do with the case?
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record.
This should be fun. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
I just want to have a look. Okay, so this is the actual last statement. Okay, I need to Shigashido to alter the way the wound looked. Is that what you were doing when Sister Bikini saw you?
Yeah, that's right. She probably thought the worst.
Probably? More like definitely.
I see. So Sister Bikini mistakenly thought you were the one who murdered Mr. Nim.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's my fault that this case has gotten so confusing. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped.
I think I've got a bit of evidence that could potentially knock her out the park here. There have been a lot of contradictions in your testimony so far. This time, are you sure it's all true?
Yeah, I am.
When the murder happened, the snow had already stopped. According to you, that's why the snowmobile tracks were so clear.
That's right. I'm certain of it.
I think I trapped her this time.
I see how you think. Snow, huh?
What is going on here?
The snow really had stopped by the time of the murder. It'd mean there'd be a bigger hole in her story than that movie, The Grid Revelations. I don't know what that's a reference to. I'm sure someone will tell me. Does it mean? Wait, is that a Matrix reference? You know, Matrix, Grid. Bro, you see, even Phoenix Wright and Capcom are throwing shade on the Matrix sequels. I mean, yeah. First one, really good movie. Second and third one,
Well then, Mr. Trite, perhaps you would like to share your theory with us. Let's see what you've got up your sleeve, or rather, at the end of your index finger.
I don't want to believe it. But I think my logic is failing. I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. But why would she do that? There's only one reason I can think of. Yeah, I'm certain. Yeah, it'll be a localization thing that the Matrix joke will be in here and not in the Japanese. Who knows? Maybe the Japanese dislike the Matrix sequels as much as we do. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Now, when did the murder take place again? Just to refresh my memory, it's been a week. 10 to 11, and do we have a weather report? 10:50. Yeah, thought that might be a punishing statement. Yep, get punished. I was reckless. I feel like I'm right though about the weather data. Two, three. Wait a minute, hang on. When did it say lightning struck Dusky Bridge? Approximately 10 to 11. That fits as well. And that might be it. I don't know. I'm just trying to think it over. It's got obviously something to do with the tracks. We could have a look at Thingy instead. The other statement. See if it provides anything else. But it seems we were down the right path. Let me hear about this snowmobile ride.
Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me?
Otto? What are you up to now?
That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple.
Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates.
Let's recall her comments on the subject.
Okay, perhaps the I was too hasty in my statement, in my pressing of statements. Yeah, I can imagine these games were very much translated over, especially when the cult systems are very different. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hazakura Temple. It was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean.
The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say?
Well, we got you now.
Hold there, Mr. Gatto. Why are you pointing out contradictions in the witness's testimony?
Let's say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
Well, maybe. Sister Bikini missed it? Yes, she just didn't see it.
Wow, that is a lie. You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right.
Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more effort or time. It's just, you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir.
What was that all about? Oh God, why would God want me to give a hint?
Well then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to Hazakura Temple Courtyard.
Yeah, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway. And then I...
Okay, and the only thing I can think of is... Because that statement's still there, it's not changed. I dragged it behind all the way to Dusky Bridge. The only thing I can think of that might work is the weather data. Hence why I went for it first time, because I thought like, it's snowing at the time. But lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. So, you know, if it stopped... Wait a minute. If the snow had stopped by 10:50, and the lightning had struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45, and she drove those clean tracks, then technically, she should have saw the bridge was on fire, right? Have I just big-brained myself? Oh, I think I've got it. Please tell me that's right. I'm a goddamn genius. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. So my initial thoughts were correct, and just my, hypothesis was wrong.
What did you say? The bridge? It was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't. It can't be.
Looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull a wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
No.
Order!
The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right, the inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed that bridge. Body or nobody.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
The only person here that is truly contemptible is you,
Damn. Come back.
old man.
Me? How dare you?
Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Squat?
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right?
Yes, of course, but
Whether it was snowing or not snowing, whether the bridge was burning down or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Denim was discovered in Hazakura Temple courtyard. And the second, the head nun's sister Bikini witnessed Elise desecrating Miss Elise's body. She was at least 6 inches deep.
He does make a good point. On both accounts.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not lying.
what are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy.
Call BS on that, Phoenix. You have stood at this witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
It is only human to err. If you're so perfect, Trite, then maybe you could explain this for the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened and the bridge had already burnt down, but somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick.
Well, not exactly, no, but I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt out bridge. So unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation.
You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest in this lady's testimony isn't the truth.
All right then, witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contains a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will this be a final testimony? Well, we're gonna have to see. And I'm out of water, so my voice is gonna start to get really hoarse.
Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Are you saying that there is a way to cross the burning bridge?
Well, I tried. I failed, but I did try to cross a burning bridge.
So it was a misunderstanding, I see.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. And it certainly was burned to a crisp. And one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall.
How do you take this photo? By helicopter?
Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder.
Right. I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err. And only humans can spot the error of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
All right, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination.
Right, okay. Try and test a method first, because I don't think I have a piece of evidence directly that can contradict one of those. Yes, but if the snow had already stopped when the incident took place.
I can have crossed the bridge, naturally. But I think it's just like Mr. Gatto said. The body did make it across somehow. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess.
You seem to be quite sure of yourself when you gave testimony. You said you were sure that the snow had already stopped.
I'm terribly sorry, I was wrong.
That look of Phoenix, just the audacity. Because he knows he can't do anything, or he knows that he can't do anything. Does she really think an apology is going to get her off the hook?
Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much?
This is no joke. You've given sworn testimony in a court of law.
Well, Mr. Wright, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what the weather was like 1 week ago today?
Well, naturally it was, sunny?
You see, it's not that easy to remember, is it?
But if it had been some kind of special day, I would have remembered. For example, if it was pouring rain on the day of my elementary school graduation.
No one wants to hear about your childhood traumas, Trite.
What?
By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. You insist on obsessing over that one statement. Let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire.
Oh no. Oh no, I think I have an idea. Well, I don't see why there couldn't be a way across.
Mr. Wright, don't you think that sounds a bit silly? Dead body crossing a burning bridge? Did anyone actually witness such a thing?
It was. I don't think you'd call someone like that a witness. After all, a dream isn't the same as actually seeing something.
Come all this way, and I owe it to everyone to figure this out. But how do you transport a body across a burning bridge? Even if I don't know the exact answer yet, it's okay. I'll start by examining all of my evidence and see where it takes me. I've got to be like a shark. If I don't keep moving, I'm as good as dead. Oh, bother. She said if I do not have a witness. I don't have a witness, but I potentially have a sketch. Well, I also got that picture, didn't I? It's either I think it's either the picture or this. I'm going to take a gamble. So, like I said, this or this. I guess that this is more outlandish, but makes sense. Because you're saying there was a way to cross a burning bridge. It's either this or this with a cable. I'm going to try this. Okay, nice. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
What?
You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. Only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled right out of thin air.
I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous.
Just who was it? Who was this witness?
I can't.
Oh, no, it's the Phoenix one got up. I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elista Nim, brilliant and highly gifted apprentice. Larista Nim. Miss Elista Nim's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Larista Nim. Yeah, got it right.
Skilled, highly trained.
Apprentice? Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. And an exact drawing of what he witnessed last night.
Are you serious? Today's not April's Fool's Day, is it?
Oh, god damn it, I'm 8 days out. Or 7. I'm a week out. Crap. That'd have been good. I managed to get it in. Yeah, it's my connection. Yeah, the stream keeps flitting. It's my connection. I do apologize. It's unfortunately something I've been trying to solve and cannot. Because I can't lay... Because of where like the internet is in our house, I can't feed it into. I can't feed. I've been looking into feeding an Ethernet cable through, but it ain't gonna happen. The logistics just won't do it. So I'm going to have to unfortunately keep struggling on with this. Yeah, we're back. It is an issue, I know. It gets on my nerves, believe me. However much it may annoy you guys, it annoys me a lot more. Obviously, if people on YouTube, it'll just be all one stream, so this won't matter, but it's annoying. Anyway, April Fool's Day. I was a week out. I could have done this last Monday. It would have been impressive.
Are you serious? Today's April Fool's Day, is it? Well, today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming the victim flew through the air? Are you using this pathetic scribble to support your argument?
Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket.
Well, Trite, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old. How does this sketch prove anything?
Actually, I think this sketch is pretty damn decent, if you don't mind me saying. I mean, look at the blending of the colours. Definitely much better than a 6-year-old. I think Larry has got a budding future ahead of him as an artist.
Does this sketch prove anything?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does, but I'm going to prove it.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. You're so eager to turn this case upside down. Why not start with this sketch?
Upside down? Why did Goto say that? It's almost like he's trying to help me out.
Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think about it over. And think it over. The sketch is drawn by Larista Nim is... Right. It's a complete contradiction, or it's exactly what happened. I believe it's going to be it's exactly what happened, we just need to rotate it. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right through here in this sketch. Whoosh.
You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness.
What? That was the last thing I wanted to hear.
You have any evidence the victim flew through the air?
See, I don't understand if it wants me to say, is this a, like, this is exactly how it happened, we just need to rotate it. No, it's a complete contradiction.
Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult in the inner temple yet.
I wish they had.
Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time.
Must be some way. I just know it. Must be some way to use Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened.
Alright then, the witness will now return to her testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
It has to be that. Surely. It has to be Larry's sketch. So is it... Right, okay. It's just... Okay, right. My problem with this is... Right. My problem with this is exactly what happened, which is true. It is exactly what happened. It's just the fact that Larry's sketch needs to be flipped over. Because the bridge is not a suspension bridge. It's not held up on the top bit. It's held up on the bottom. Okay, so it's a complete contradiction then. It has to be that. It can't be it nothing. Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I meant, Your Honor. Mr. Nim stated it over and over. This sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
It contradicts reality?
This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to your finger-pointing thing again. Okay, Trite. So it exactly contradicts reality.
Well, the woman flying through the air. Technically, these cables as well. So either the woman flying through the air or the cables. So I'm going to try the cables first because the cables make more legitimate sense. It's this wire connected to the bridge.
The wire?
Is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed.
Then show us the reality that it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out the sketch contradicts.
Show us something that will point out the sketch contradicts reality. Do I have a picture of the bridge? At all? This'll do. That'll do. Yeah, under that one. Take this, Cyborg. Oh, Cyborg, Cyclops. Getting my superheroes mixed up.
That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yeah. You know he means business when he slaps photos. Yes, now compare the sketch with a photo for a minute. In this sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge...
Jumping Josephat.
The wires are below... Oh, the guard wires.
What?
What?
Hold on. This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in this photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he drew it wrong?
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
With someone like Larice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then, that begs the question, why did he make that mistake? What was the reason?
You saying that you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. In more ways than one, am I right? Get my digs in on Larry while I can. He waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larry must have been in at the time. He was laying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back? I can't see how it relates.
But it does, Your Honor. This is why the reason the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Ah!
No way.
Larice Denim witnessed the event whilst he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he did see, or that he saw, was actually upside down.
So then this sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Denim's sketch is like this. Woo! Oh, I thought we were going to do the rotation, like, thing. God damn it. No. Woo! Like on a kid's show. This is how it actually should look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Of all the things to say, a pendulum?
The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite side of the cliff.
Yes, that sounds about right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, You need rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd need to plan ahead. You'd have to plan ahead.
The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get a rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them.
What?
I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In any case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had a rope on hand to create a pendulum?
I believe we have this right here. But to get absolutely bitch slapped in the face with my evidence.
And the meaning of this is?
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Ah! This is one of those wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Denim's body. It's like an Alton Towers ride. They're very lucky that that wire didn't unravel beforehand, because there was simply no other way to move the body. And look at that Adam's apple go. Now he's on the back foot.
Mr. Gatto? Seems that Mr. Gatto is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. Seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were quite high. So I suppose it's not an impossibility after all.
Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? I wonder if you can prove what happened. Wright, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence the body swung over there on a pendulum?
Technically, I have two pieces of evidence. I have this, and I have the fact that I have her autopsy saying she fell about 10 feet. But I'm gonna go with this first because this makes more sense. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see if it's the one. We can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
So then, what was the spot? So then that was the spot where the criminal?
Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well then, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body was dropped from some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose.
That's...
Yes, the blood-stained amethyst crystal. The one that came off of Mr. Elise Denim's staff. Even more important is the place where the crystal sphere was found.
Indeed. I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. Crystal was found...
Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
And this explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You provided us with a way the body could have moved that night. Impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive.
Oh.
Mr. Wright?
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Gatto?
That was a dark and bitter gift that you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing.
Oh, and what would that be?
The aroma.
Huh?
A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
I would have said the taste, but okay. You know, since you taste coffee rather than sniff it. Although, if Goddo snorts coffee, it's not the, I wouldn't put it past him. Just the, just Goddo with the granules. Like a Henry Hoover. The rest of the card doesn't speak Coffeenese. Can you elaborate a bit more?
If the criminal had set the body on the other side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite?
Mr. Gatto is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice.
Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright.
Okay.
Who was the person who received the body on the Hazakura Temple side?
Well, it has to be Iris, correct? Was it the only other yeah, Iris, makes sense. It's it was either her or Bikini, and it's not me and it's not Pearl, because Pearl's on the other side, so it's... Well, it could be Larry, but Larry's fake. It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? Ah, but I
don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one who could have managed it.
Trite, you listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this cute little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
I haven't forgotten. But have you, Mr. Gatto? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. Almost as if on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch, drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I don't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have just been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't actually Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is...
There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is... Oh... Yeah, the dead lady. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. Let alone see you. Been a long time. Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh yes, I remember now. That case. 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor's all mine. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. Says her execution was carried out last month.
So it takes almost 5 years to get a person executed. Makes sense, I guess. All the legal tape. Death penalty is a weird thing. I don't know how I sit with the state being able to kill people. I feel like that could be abused. Especially in well, you know, I don't know, giving the government the ability to kill anybody that they see to convict. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. I mean, they're the legal grounds that are the grounds which I object to the death penalty.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
What?
Well, I think Goddo's clicked.
Hold on.
Wait a moment. How can you, my sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Quran channeling technique flows within that body.
The Quran channeling technique? Now where have I heard that?
That's right, you're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone. On the very night of the murder, to a temple where her twin sister, Iris, was?
Well, if you're going to put it that way, then yes.
We're supposed to believe that a coincidence just happens?
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fey. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple.
2 of them?
Even the time the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means that the iris wasn't dinner, was the real iris.
That the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
You even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole channeling of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness is currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris.
What? What?
Calm down and remember what you saw the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, after seeing Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne had been channeled. Would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike.
Well, that's a chance at a thumbnail as well if I had to see one.
It was later that the body was moved by the pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean Iris had received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes, I believe so.
After being notified of what really happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. They found Iris in her room and arrested her. Ever since then, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose I can't deny any of that.
Whew, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
Oh, she pretty. But something still seems way off. I'm still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one as the other night.
I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like, the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switch places.
Switch places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we confirm this witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have to have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, there have been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. One singular solitary moment.
Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was unable to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murderer who would give a murder suspect time to move freely like that?
I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to, and it wasn't your fault. But the person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was... Where is he? Where's my edgy boy? You earthquake shuddering son of a bitch.
This is, Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor? There was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake? Well, yes.
Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the inner temple is kind of tremormite.
What could I have... How could I have...
She fled. She's escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true. Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spirit channeling and...
Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
Why would she give herself away like this?
That voice.
Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne, in my current profession, permanently retired.
So you're not hiding... to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne? I never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. This time, I'll end it. For her, and for myself. Now, do I gamble? I did say I would break it up into 2 parts. If we got to about this point. Ah, sod it, we'll screw it. Glutton for punishment. Suffer the consequences. I'll get over that 2.5 hour mark.
Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness?
Yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge?
Well, it seems that you've to learn the truth. We'll need to hear your testimony.
I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown.
In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night.
Okay.
The whole plan began with my death. The stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fey to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fey would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya, and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong. It seems to have succeeded anyway.
So that means you really are...
Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fey?
Yes, and you have a problem with that?
Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that...
Watch yourself, Trite. You've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules.
Mr. Goto is correct, and by the way, that's one of my rules as well.
To kill Maya? Could it be true? Well, we're gonna have to cross-examine her anyway. Press everything! You were executed that month, correct?
Yes, I was hanged. Well, it wasn't exactly pleasant.
Ah, the British way of killing people. At least we know that this. At least we know that the Phoenix Wright universe has some standards.
It wasn't exactly pleasant.
How did you discuss this plan? Did you talk with Morgan Fey?
Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was naturally pretty easy to meet her.
I see. So that's when you discussed the plan?
Huh. Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well. Even though I'm her own daughter.
All to make Pearl Fey the master of crime?
She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister, Misty, took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan.
A plan, huh?
Okay, statement one down. You're talking about Pearl Fey, is that correct?
Yes. At first, she had high hopes for the two of us.
And your twin sister Iris?
That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father.
Abandoned?
The only person I ever really cared about in life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her in an old temple.
You mean Iris?
Yes. My father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right?
Yeah, fair play. Okay, she's doing the maths.
And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general.
How horrible.
The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fey. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fey heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her prophetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family.
Okay, two statements down, nothing that was contradictory as of yet. But for it to work, Maya Fey would have to die. Maya would have to die? But why?
For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya.
How sad that you still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all.
That's ridiculous.
She was willing to sacrifice everything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally the life of Maya Fey as well.
Is that why she tried to get Maya arrested in the second game? Probably. How could anyone do that? The idea was me to kill Maya and have it blamed on Iris. You? You were going to kill Maya?
Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing you can do to me.
So the plan was to blame your crime on your younger twin, on Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple.
She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris that had done it.
And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini.
Hang on, I just want to have a look at, oh, well, no, they have the same eyes. Yeah, they have the same eyes, just different hair. Or different hair color, I should say. Be more specific.
And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini.
I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night, but she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway.
But why did you want to pin the crime on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her.
Backstabber?
You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway,
Okay, and last statement. You think the plan was a success?
you heard me. Just as the woman had hoped. Maya Fey is dead. Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
That's absurd. Maya is just... She's just trapped. Trapped inside the sacred cavern.
Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you, my darling Feeny?
Mm.
Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. You sniveling naivete, your prophetic faith in other people.
I just want to know one thing. What do you personally think of Morgan Fey's plan?
I already told you, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value, other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it certainly was nothing to be proud of.
If that's how you feel, then why did you help carry it out? And why did you do it? Why would you kill Maya?
You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that.
So then tell me, why?
Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction.
What did you say? Is this woman Dahlia Hawthorne? She had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Okay, one more statement we've got. Obviously it's because you were helping Morgan Fey.
Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious.
So she actually wasn't cooperating with Morgan? She was just using Morgan, so her plan... And her plan so she could accomplish her own goal?
All I wanted was to kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think of... The only way I could think of to get revenge.
Revenge? Looks like I have got no choice but to present that piece of evidence. Can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. Gotta keep a cool head. And I need to get more information out of her. The only way to understand this plan and what she was after as well. Okay, and so... Revenge. Revenge. Could be the Stone Lantern, I guess, but I doubt it. The only thing I can think of, because she hates one person, she hates one person alone, and that's... Well, she hates everybody, but she hates Mia most of all. So that's the only evidence I got. But it said evidence, so I feel like it's an actual piece of evidence. I'll go with Mia. We still got, you know, some points in the top right to blow through, but this is my guess. No? Evidence clearly revealed. Nah, screw it. I was wrong. Oh well, That's the only person. It's because she said revenge. Understand why I have to kill Maya Fey now, what my goal was. Well, she had revenge, so I assumed to get back at Mia because Mia killed you. That'd be my guess anyway. I don't know then. I did have it on the right statement, right? I don't really know. I'm trying to work out what the evidence would be. I don't know. Maybe the lantern? I don't know. Yep, I pressed all of these. Am I sure it wasn't Mia? What? I got it right then. What happened? What was the difference? I'm confused. Did I misclick and click Maya instead of Mia? Screw it. I don't know. I thought. Okay, never mind. Could it be that your goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself? I don't know. Someone will tell me in the comments or in chat. I'm sure I went for all the statements and presented Mia, right? I'm confused.
As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore, because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead. You can't take revenge against them either.
You wanted to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey.
I somehow knew this was it.
I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation, and wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
And the reason it was impossible? Was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died?
Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that? And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands.
Oh, so Mia maybe didn't love me. Oh well. It happens. You know, I mean, yeah, fair enough, her sister. But you know, I thought, you know, spiky hair, basically give me a free job as a rookie defense attorney. Yeah. Always wearing those outfits when I'm in the room, you know. I just thought you might have a thing for me.
That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped her out with that woman's plans.
Just for that? You would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey.
As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless.
Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you, there's not a thing that you can do to me. That night, at about 9:30, I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned up my hair up and put on my demon warding hood. Then I picked up my staff that was by the side of Hazakura Temple.
So it was Elise Denim who channeled her after all.
That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya at the inner temple, and then wobbled back, clutching her poor old back.
What did you do then?
That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the sloped lantern, and then I took out the dagger that I got from the storeroom and...
So then you're saying you stabbed Maya?
It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
And what does that mean? No clear memory?
I don't know. I think I was stabbed.
You were stabbed?
At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it.
That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork.
Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. Before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her.
I can't believe what she was thinking of that until... I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end.
That's where my memory temporarily stops.
It stops?
I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes when I woke up after that. I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness.
You were in the sacred cavern?
The entrance was sealed up with one of those trick locks. Somehow I had been trapped in there.
But how did you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead. But I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself.
For a ghost, you're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out of here and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out.
The trick lock stopped you, huh?
I didn't know about how to remove it.
So then you're saying that you were actually confined against your will inside this sacred cavern?
Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it.
Interrupted?
It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall.
What? Ooh.
Could it have been Maya?
I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see.
Why not?
If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take my revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern.
That morning, only 2 people could have got into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanged scroll in gravy.
Still, I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The flies had already started to gather. The bridge had been fixed and the police started their investigation, correct? Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I'd hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up.
Lady Luck?
After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself.
The real Iris?
She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was all right. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I had finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then I learned that the plan had actually succeeded.
What do you mean your plan had succeeded?
I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one who had that had summoned me, I assumed it was Pearl Fey.
Well, of course it would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was Misty Fey, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After all, I lost consciousness in the garden. It was her body that was lying there. Maya Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. Even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit.
And that is?
Matricide, the killing of her own mother. No way!
Order in the court. What is the meaning of all this?
It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fey. Even so. But the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya.
Ridiculous. That's nonsense.
You sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there?
What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence?
The fact that Maya Fey has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it?
Huh?
The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple. That much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be.
Where?
Do I have to spell it out for you? The bottom of Eagle River. Where else?
Eagle River?
Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. So what do you have to say now, Feeny?
Oh, That's Godot's theme, but it's his ringtone. Nice.
Oops. Sorry, that's my phone.
What kind of ringtone is that?
Gato here. Okay, thanks.
Was it something important?
They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern.
That's great. What about Maya?
There was a woman in the cave.
Was it Maya Fey?
It was the accused. Sister Iris.
Huh?
Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that.
So what about Maya? Where is she?
There was no one else found inside the sacred cavern.
No, it can't be.
I told you, didn't I? She's dead.
No. No!
It seems that this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Least and Nim is also known as Misty Fey. It was her own daughter, Maya Fey. Overcoming guilt for what she had done, Maya Fey jumped to her death into the raging waters of Eagle River.
It can't be.
Wright, you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. No matter how improbable it may seem.
What is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Gatto?
According to the witness, Maya Fey threw herself into Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman earlier testified that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place. Which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side, not the bridge.
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
Not a chance. That's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there.
Agreed. Because Mia did the same thing. She proved the same thing.
Don't get your panties all twisted up, Trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again.
So it's impossible? Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River?
Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Fey threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence to refute this claim?
I believe I do. This. Because Mia proved the exact same thing. It's impossible to jump into Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness.
What did you say?
11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf.
Oh, yes, you're right.
But wouldn't she have... She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body from this photo.
Ah,
Attaboy, Trite. Attaboy. So you finally figured it out.
you. No.
Hold on.
You're just playing with me. Maya Fey's body's at the bottom of Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding.
Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Maya Fey wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into Eagle River.
Correct. It eliminates all the most likely possibilities.
Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place that she could be.
What? What is the one possibility you were talking about?
That's obviously a bluff. So where is her dead body then?
Finally, I think the pieces are starting to fall into place. Normally the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there is a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. brings out the riding crop. Now, shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is at this moment? Maya Fey is in this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom.
What?
Maya Fey is here?
You say she's in the courtroom? Or you say she's in the courtroom? In my courtroom?
Dahlia Hawthorne, I seem to recall that you said, I misunderstood one thing, you see.
So what?
I think there's one more thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. At this precise moment, who is channeling you?
Why, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fey, that pathetic little sniveling runt.
You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it.
I never failed at channeling someone before. This is the first time it's happened.
Isn't there any explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit. Someone called me before Pearl did, but who?
Pearl's even tried again the day after the crime. She couldn't do it. What could that mean? The truth is becoming clearer to you as we speak, isn't it?
Huh.
It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone who could before she could. And that person is Maya. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fey was gone. There's only one possibility left.
Come on already, I can't stand the tension.
Dahlia Hawthorne, the person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey.
What? What?
But how could that be? Remember what this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal?
She said her goal was to kill Maya Fey.
Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of the someone that was trying to kill her...
Huh. Well, Gramps, what would happen?
Could it be?
Looks like you finally understand, Your Honor.
Well, I don't. What are you going on about?
What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. There's only one reason. To protect herself from you.
To protect herself from me?
Yeah. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. The path to Hazakura Temple was closed off and there was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide?
You mean that's when she channeled me?
This time you thought you'd been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you.
No. No, don't say that. You're saying that Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Maya Fey killed herself. Isn't it obvious?
Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to just jump into Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could escape, could disappear from the inner temple.
I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who has never been out of the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea?
Well, Oh. What's up, Mia?
Well, it was me, of course.
Yeah.
Mia Fey. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Can't do multiple female voices, I apologize.
So it's true. It was you.
Yes.
You're something else.
But what are you doing here?
That hair, it's pearls, right?
Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to the night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple garden, and then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you.
She did?
Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed.
When she woke up, she was in the training hall. And that's when Maya decided she needed help. So she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in, and asked what I thought she should do. She did that? I can't believe it. Of course, I didn't have all details, but one thing was perfectly clear.
And that was?
I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free.
Free? What do you mean?
It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived.
So it was Maya who put that lock on there.
Yes, but why did you order her to do those 2 things?
If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey.
Pearls?
Yes, Pearls didn't properly understand the plan. So all she was trying to do was follow her mother, Morgan Fey's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly.
So that's how it was done. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fey to kill Maya at all costs.
Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along.
How dare you? I won't forget this.
Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? The little plan was nothing more than a big failure.
Yes, another failure to add to your pile of shame. When you say? What do you mean by another?
Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure.
What? How dare you?
11 years ago? A fake kidnapping? Your very first crime? You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but... after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed.
Shut your mouth, that wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman.
And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but... you wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. Just one stupid move after another for you. But it's no longer funny.
You, wipe that happy-go-lucky smile off your face.
And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape. Even though she was right there in front of you.
Mia Fey. Mia Fey. Mia Fey. You spinster. I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. If only you had gotten this spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I would have been hanged to death. True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You'll never defeat me. What did you say? Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all eternity.
I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you. Because you were already dead.
What about it?
Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever.
That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne. A miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there is no one who can escape from that. No hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has been burnt to a crisp. You're wrong. It can't be. How could I lose to the likes of you?
It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. Copious amounts of screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't have just used that sound effect instead. Oh, turns out she's a Barbie doll.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go.
The magic number 9.
Huh. Mine looks very different with our, all, regalia.
Now then, I assume you are the real Iris?
Yes. I was just rescued from the secret cavern.
I must say you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Gatto, what happened to the Dahlia Hawthorne?
You ask me, Your Honor? Looks like she went back to the hell from whence she came.
It seems that Misty Fey wasn't the only victim in this crime. Maya Fey as well as the young Pearl Fey were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan.
Yes, Your Honor.
The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again.
Your Honor?
Yes, what is it?
About this whole spirit medium thing? It's almost weird how comfortable you seem with the concept now.
Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the Korean channeling technique.
Hey, isn't that the New Year's issue of Occult? Aha, references, get it? To a surprisingly similar magazine in the real world.
I've seen quite a few things in my years on the bench, and in all that time I've finally learned this one thing. Each case is different and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ.
Never would have thought of it that way.
At any rate, it's now time to pass judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Oh.
You're a little too fast with that gavel, Your Honor.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Gatto?
This trial, it isn't over yet. That's what he means.
What?
Trite. Remember what Miss Evil's spirit said in her testimony.
Huh? Dahlia's testimony?
I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern, and I took out the dagger and got it from the storeroom and... It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed. Just as Dahlia Horphone was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone.
Yes, that's right.
The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium and the channel Dahlia. At least to Nim, no, Misty Fey. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it.
This isn't over?
Unless someone is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there is evidence that proves her innocence.
No way.
But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony.
The prosecution is ready to call our final witness.
Final witness?
The one who will clear up this whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Fey.
Indeed.
Is it really all right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Of course it's alright, Madame Attorney.
Very well then. Who is this final witness?
Huh. Isn't it obvious? There's only one person who saw the whole event, and she'll put the final dagger in this case.
So, someone who saw the murder take place?
The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes.
You mean Maya? You can't. She can't testify after what she's been through.
We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Fey to the witness stand.
Very well, but first we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Fey to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial.
Hey, Trite. I've got something to say to you, so listen up.
What is it?
I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save your ass.
You've got some nerve.
But that's not going to happen this time. This time, you're gonna have to do it all by yourself.
That's enough. This court is now in recess.
To be continued? Oh no. Okay. I felt like that was a perfect place to, continue on and end it, because we seem to go outside the courtroom, inside the courtroom. That's a nice place to disparage it. Oh well. Okay, fair enough.
I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me. I was missing all day and we didn't even have a chance to talk.
She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the sacred cavern.
I wanted to be at least at the defendant's box today to root you on.
Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why didn't you help your sister out as much as you did?
Huh?
You had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday. You wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there.
My sister? I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by our mother and never really got any love from our father either.
Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it?
Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini, who was like a mother to me. Only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple.
Yeah, sure.
I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would I would help her.
You talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago?
Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But, as usual, I was too cowardly, and at the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister Valerie ended up.
That was the case that wounded Mia so badly.
But things didn't change there, of course. Some people suspected my sister was involved in the murder.
Some people? You must mean...
Yes, 2 defense attorneys, Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison from her. You.
That's right. Iris. There's one more thing I have to ask you.
Yes? What is it?
On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, at least to Nim, was it really you?
Yes, it was me. After that night, I rang on the lights out bell. I went back to my room. And at around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone.
Oh, you actually have a cell phone? Glad you could get reception.
There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. I got on the snowmobile and headed out for the inner temple. But the path to the inner temple was cut off. Right?
Oh, the path to the inner temple was cut off, right?
Exactly. We can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it? It was me. I was the one who received the body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held.
I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff?
Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile.
But why? Why would you alter the body?
I didn't want anyone to know that the staff... I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Fey. So I dressed her up in a robe and stabbed her with a Shigashido. And wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground.
Iris, just tell me one more thing. Tell me the name of the person who called your cell phone. The real killer.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it.
I see.
Defendant,
Yes?
the judge is calling you. He wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne.
All right. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you.
Oh, okay. Something she wants to tell me? This reminds me I need to talk about a story when we play Paper Mario next. This coincides with this, what Phoenix is feeling right now. So it's true. Iris cooperated with a real killer. Maybe even from the very beginning. Phoenix? Mia. How is Maya doing? Well, how's Maya doing?
Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she'll be hurt very badly by this case.
I see. You don't mean she learned who Elise Denim really was?
Yes. I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew.
But why?
Maya is stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it.
What do you mean by that?
I want you to figure out that answer out by yourself. The trial is about to restart. The real killer, do you know who it is yet?
Iris won't tell me who called her, but still. I think that, just maybe, I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the inner temple. The criminal wasn't there by accident. Which means that the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning.
And one more thing. The victim was moved to Hazakura Temple. The victim was moved to the Hazakura Temple side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day.
Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day.
That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win, or lose.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally. It's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it who actually killed Misty Fey? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. Lovely. So, I guess this is where we'll definitely leave it, and we'll do the last bit, I assume, because it seems like the crescendo. We'll do the last bit next week. But for now, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. People on Twitch, all these get archived to YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. Should be links if you click on my About section. If you ever miss a stream, that is where they will be. People on those platforms, as I've just said, this is all streamed live from Twitch. If you want to watch live, you can do. There should be a link in the description of every video that I do to the Twitch channel, as well as any other platform you wish to watch me on. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does help me out in the algorithm, and I do interact with comments the best I can. Now, without further ado, I'd like to thank you guys for watching one final time, and bye-bye.